done, and we'll talk about it here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Vontae Hill. The Warriors overcome 20 turnovers. The Clippers scored 35 off of them. The Warriors missed a ton of free throws. But yet Steph and Curry got hot in the third quarter, and they made all the winning plays down the stretch, Fezzi.
I told you, Vontae, throw away all the notes. Everything that you thought you understood about basketball, throw it away. Because when it comes down to a win-or-die situation, I will never bet against Steph Curry because you know what he can do. But this game was not just about Steph. This game was really a summary of the season for the Warriors. You've had injuries, you've had struggles, you've had guys come in and out of the lineup. Steve Kerr started with a lineup that he didn't go to for the rest of the game. He just started to try different combinations of guys, played 8 guys tonight. Every guy that stepped on the floor tonight made big plays, and it's a combination of the season. This team has had so many punches thrown at them this season, and this was a game where they had to withstand so many runs from the Clippers. The Clippers came out the game hot right now. It was 12-2 to start the game, and the Warriors kept fighting back. And I told you who my X factor was going to be, Vontae. Who was that?
Al Horford, 14 points off the bench as the Warriors snapped their 9-game losing streak to the Clippers in Los Angeles. But, Mully, we looked at that third quarter where the Warriors just was trying to stay in the fight. Then the Clippers, they go up 13 in the fourth quarter. Steph returns with the Warriors down 10, and they took off from there.
You know, Bonte and Festus, I mean, there's only one way you can stay in the game when you give up 35 points off turnovers. They shot 56% from the field.
Wow.
46 from 3, and the Warriors didn't even make their free throws. They were 13 of 21. But Fezzi talked about the X factor. Horford was amazing. Santos had 20. Porzingis was huge with 20. And obviously Steph just got so hot in that second half. And that's the best he's looked. And so much for minute restriction because Steph played 36, Podziemski 40, Draymond Green.
Wow.
Okay? Now, Draymond has had a really good season. And they've had the shirts for him getting defend for 10 for tonight proves what a great defender he was.
Wow.
Because they need just as Steph took over offensively and dominated, Draymond took over defensively, held Kawhi. Kawhi got a bucket at the end of the game. That was it. He had 19 entering the fourth quarter, had 2 useless points at the end of the game. And Draymond, not only the defense to stop him, I thought he just took him out of the game. He didn't want to even participate in the possessions. There were several possessions, even out of timeouts. He didn't touch the basketball. So we highlighted Draymond pregame about him denying the basketball. I thought the Warriors did a really good job defensively, coming out with zone, full court press, and really keeping the Clippers off balance. And the Clippers shot 50, 40, 100 and still lost this ball game. They had 18 of their own turnovers, but they never really found a rhythm. I thought the Warriors were able to play the game at their tempo. It seemed like even when they got down 13, they always had an answer. The game started 12-2. Then the Warriors went on 12-2, and the game ended on the Warriors going on a 14-2 run. So it was literally a game of runs all night long.
No doubt. As we pick up the crunch time tape, it felt like the Warriors were about to get ran out the gym in the fourth quarter, down 13, 98-85, but they crawl back here. Santos making a nice winning play here. Al Horford in the
Big
corner.
Al.
Big time 3 for Big Al. How about Santos? 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists tonight. But Al Horford looking for Gee knows who's hot. Gives it right back to Al Horford in the other corner. Warriors down 2. Fezzi fell your X factor, and this is who they signed him up for. And then Stephen Curry. He reads the game so well with a nice finger roll. Warriors now down 3, and they're putting the pressure on the Clippers. And again, Kawhi Leonard just got totally taken out of the game offensively. But Santos, how about him in the playing game? You know what? I'm going to go to the rim and get this layup. Warriors down 1 with 2:45 left.
Okay, so, Bonte, what we saw right there is Steph Curry pressure, right? Steph Curry's gravity. Look at this shot from Al Horford. They're so worried about Steph at half court that he can throw the ball to Al. And shout out to big Al Horford. This is his second game back in the lineup and making big shots after big shot. And this right here, oh my God.
Right here, the go-ahead bucket for the Golden State Warriors. Stephen Curry falls into the first row at the Intuit Dome. He's having fun. Dubs up 3 with 50.4 seconds left. Nice screen by Draymond. We talked about the mismatch with Brook Lopez on the perimeter. We saw this, Mullin, with Brook Lopez in Milwaukee. Stephen Curry retains the information, finds him on that just a little bit of space there, and he nails a three.
Yeah, but this was just an amazing play. Give it up, get it back, and then go off the dribble, step back. That was not terrible defense. That was just an amazing stop by Steph.
And that's what he does, Stephen Curry there. 27 of his 35 coming in the second
right
half.
Here.
But then
Way
the
to be
steal on the
physical,
inbounds.
Draymond.
Pods with the layup right there. Warriors go up 5 with 46 seconds left. And again, how about this defense right here? Draymond knows where Kawhi's going, picks his pocket clean, back-to-back possessions. Draymond Green with a defensive masterclass in the fourth quarter. And that was after he looked like he turned his ankle, went to the bench for a second. He said, no, I'm good. I'm getting back into this game.
Draymond
We're not going
warrior.
home. And you see the hug right there from Steve Kerr and Draymond Green. There's been a lot of those hugs as the Warriors rally, and they will advance to the next game. They still got to win to advance to the first round to take on Oklahoma City, but they'll get a Phoenix Suns team in the Valley of the Sun. But Draymond Green, your former teammate, putting on the masterclass defensively, and then Big Al making those shots with no hesitation in the fourth quarter.
What was the question before the game? Would you rather experience or what? What was the question?
Execution or experience?
I don't think you said execution, but
Mullin said execution.
You said execution in addition to experience. Well, for the Warriors tonight, I thought their experience showed in the second half. I thought Steph Curry, as the game went on, he had 8 points in the first half. Steph had 27 in the second half. This is why you don't bet against him. Made big shot after big shot, started getting free, and really what I saw was he started to move better. He was coming off of screens. Guys were reading each other. This is what I talk about when I say experience, because this team understands each other, and it just took one half of basketball for them to really get in flow, get into the rhythm. You saw that play where Steph hit that big shot. He threw it to Draymond, faked one way, ran back the other way. The beautiful basketball that you got to see in the second half was a culmination of everybody coming together, making big plays. Santos made big plays. Al Horford made big plays. Brandon Podziemski, that last shot was a big play. You got to see the whole beauty of basketball tonight for the Warriors, because they've tried to make this season, which has been hard, into something of beauty here at the end.
Well, let's go down to L.A. to the Intuit Dome, where Petaluma's finest Dalton Johnson is standing by with Draymond Green.
Year 14. Win or go home, do or die. This is what you play for. Tell me what you're feeling right now, Draymond.
I'm exhausted, but it feels good. You know, this was a back and forth game. They made a run, we made a run, they made a run. And we got the great Steph Curry and the great Al Horford, and they took us home. It was a beautiful thing.
You guys were 7-34 when trailing after 3 quarters this season. What changed this time?
This is the one of those 41 that if we lose, we go home. And we don't want to go home. We want to keep playing. Anytime you got Steph Curry, you got a chance. So it's on all of us to do our parts to give him a chance to show his greatness. Everybody did their part. Brandon Podziemski was huge. Everybody did their part. Santos, and we allow him to be Steph Curry.
Nobody knows Steph Curry better than you, Draymond. The moment the ball leaves his fingertips with 50 seconds left for that three-pointer, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm taught to crash right there. Of course, I've seen it too many times. It's going in. I knew it. That's what he do.
Game over, huh?
Yes, sir.
Enjoy the win. Thanks, Draymond.
Thanks, Doc.
All right, let's talk about Draymond Green. 7 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. But it's his individual defense on Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter that's going to have everybody talking tomorrow morning. Shutting down the claw, it's not an easy task. Kawhi Leonard has been on a heater, scoring at least 20 points in 57 consecutive games. He's a two-way player. He can hit the three. He can get to the rack. Well, what Draymond Green did, Fezzi, in that fourth quarter to take Kawhi out of the game, what did you see?
Bonte, I just saw a guy who was relentless tonight. Defensively, I thought Draymond worked all night long, made Kawhi work all night long. And here, this is the first play out of the break right there. It's Draymond going right to the rim, making adjustments. All season long, you've asked Draymond to stay in the fight. And because of his voice, his leadership, his veteran leadership, he played 60-something games this season, in a season where the Warriors were riddled with injuries. 68 games. He's been the guy that's been on the floor fighting with the team, and you asked him why. He said, because I want this young guys to understand that this thing was built. And I want them to understand what it takes to build this. You can't quit on this team. And that's what I saw tonight. Draymond was not quitting. At the fourth quarter, he had a knee injury, what it looked like, and still stayed in the game. It just shows you the mentality right now for this team. This team is not trying to go home right now.
Yeah, I thought it started at the jump ball. There's something about – so Draymond and Kawhi both sat out the last game. So they both rested. Something about the jump ball, and you know Draymond's guarding their best player. That's the start of it. And then he gave him nothing easy. No easy catches. Was contesting his catches on the elbows, pushing him out past the three-point line. I thought they had great double teams at certain points in time. But the steals, the deflections, Kawhi was 1 of 6 from 3. And maybe the most underrated thing Draymond did, like being physical, only 4 for 4 from the free throw line. This is a guy that shoots 89% from the free throw line. So he manufactures a lot of points from that free throw line, just 4 of 4, and totally took him out of the game in the fourth quarter. He wound up with 21. He had 19 going into the fourth. He had that one layup at the end of the game that meant nothing. Incredible job by Draymond Green.
Could I ask you, Mullin, Steve Kerr, we see him play 10, 11, sometimes in the first quarter. He only played 8 guys tonight. And there was a lot of talk and discussion about, hey, there's going to be a minutes restriction for KP, Horford, and Steph Curry. We didn't see that tonight. Steve Kerr coached his game like a Game 7.
It was a Game 7. It's the postseason. And the NBA rotations are 8, maybe 9 with foul trouble. That's what the NBA is all about. So tonight was an NBA playoff game.
There it is.
Welcome to the playoffs.
Welcome to the playoffs.
There we go.
Got one more game till we get to the playoffs. We're still in the box, Willie. Still in the play-in tournament, but the Warriors do advance. They'll fly to Phoenix to take on the Suns Friday night against Dylan the Villain, Devin Booker and company. We'll hear from the head coach of the Dubs, Steve Kerr, on the other side here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live. Welcome back to Toyota Warriors Post-Game Live as we look at the final team stat comparison. The Warriors shot the ball very well against the Clippers. 56.5% from the floor and 46 from 3. They had the 3-ball rolling all night long, Mullin. Point to the paint. That's a category they usually lose. They were +2 there. They were able to overcome the 20 turnovers as well as the bench production. I know, by the way, they've got to do better when it comes to shooting their free throws. Just 13 to 21 from the charity stripe. If they want to advance to take on Oklahoma City, that will have to be a lot. They will have to be a lot.
So they had 20 turnovers.
I know.
The Warriors had 20 turnovers. They gave up 35 points on those turnovers. They missed free throws. I mean, what more can you say about the Warriors right now and their fighting spirit? Because everything about this game says, the Warriors were having one of those nights where the Clippers could take advantage of it. And they went, you said 13 for 21 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, the Clippers was 17 for 17 from the free throw line. So it looked like it was trending in that direction. And they're down 13. Down 13, Guy Santos hits a 3 to cut it to 10. And then from there, Steph hits a 3. Guy makes a play. Al Horford hits a couple of threes. I mean, it's just a total team effort that shows exactly what they've learned all season long. It's like everybody just knows that it's not time to give up, and everybody made a contribution tonight. Yeah, I mean, all the stuff that Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry have been talking about came to fruition tonight. Just give us a chance. We can win big games if we can put ourselves on that big stage. Think about the Clippers. The Clippers shoot 52% from the field, 40 from 3, 100 from the free throw line, and lose the ball game. They had 18 turnovers themselves for 26 points. But, and I said pregame, 30 assists, 18 made threes. Warriors had 29 assists, 19 made threes. Wow. That's how you make up for the turnovers. And maybe the biggest and most impressive thing was, as they turned that basketball over, it never really defeated them. Sometimes we've seen games during the season where the turnovers just become overwhelming and they kind of just don't have it. This is where the elimination game intensity really kicked in. And like you said, Fez, experience has a huge factor, but experience without shot making, which is execution, means nothing. So Al Horford's got plenty of experience. He's 40 years old. Right. But he made 4 threes. I know Jeff Van Gundy's over there. I told you to make him dribble. Not one time did he put the ball on the floor.
So true.
Stepping in rhythm. So the 19 made threes, the 29 assists overcome the deficits in second chance points, fast break points, points off turnovers. And I really do believe, I don't know about you guys watching the game together, it just felt like it was the Warriors' style. And I thought the fact that Steve staggered Draymond's minutes with Kawhi, so when those guys were out of the ball game, Steve was going to zone, little full court press, and then when Draymond and Kawhi came back in, it was man-to-man with some double teams. So the Clippers' offense, although the numbers look good, I don't think they felt great about the shots they would get. I thought the Warriors were dictating the shots that the Clippers were getting. They were not creating shots. It was the Warriors' defense yielding those shots.
You know who we're not talking about? Kristaps Porzingis.
I mentioned him.
I keep thinking about, when we come into this postseason and you're talking about the play-in, one of the things that the Warriors were focused on is if we can get Steph healthy and we can get him paired up with Kristaps and you can get healthy Al Horford, you can make a run. And you got to see Steph Curry tonight. You got to see him, it was beautiful to watch the game develop because to start the game, they start off in a deficit. And it seemed like the Warriors were trying to get their bearings. And the Clippers were kind of hot. Role players, Ben Mathurin was huge. He was making plays. Kawhi started off really hot. And all these things looked like it was working in the Clippers' favor. But it looked like Steph kept getting healthier and healthier. And the Warriors started getting used to having Steph on the floor. Yep. Guys were like, okay, well, we've played without Steph on the floor. Now we have him on the floor. There's all this attention towards Steph, so let's just go get layups. It was passing the ball to guys like Kristaps Porzingis, passing Guy Santos, making plays to the rim. We've talked about Al Horford. I mean, D'Anthony Melton coming into the game in the first half, I thought he was huge. The numbers are not going to say that, but I thought the lineup with him, and Jerry Payton, all these guys, they were able to come back into the game from that deficit.
We'll get to Kristaps in a second. The two-man game worked, but let's not get it mistaken and get it twisted here. Steph and Curry happened in the third quarter. Clippers did a great job of running Stephen Curry off the three-point line. He only had 5 three-point attempts in the first half. He was 2 of 9 from the floor, visibly frustrated. Only 8 points, but then he erupted, going 6 of 8 in the third quarter, 3 of 4 from the three-point line, 16 points, and that's all he needed, Bully. You can't let the great ones wake up, and that's what he did in the third quarter against the Clips.
Well, Steph's so resilient, just tough. Like you said, Bonte, I still think the Clippers, they probably want to hold him to 10 attempts. Yep. He only got 12, but he made 7. So the efficiency numbers, and this is the best Steph has looked to me. And, they ran him off the three-point line. I thought he finished in the paint. He looked really active when he gave up the basketball, relocating. And that big three he made on the sideline over Brook Lopez, that was a give it up, get it back from Draymond, 2 side dribbles, step back. So the second half, he was amazing, which is really great news for the Warriors because this is the best he's looked physically. Mm-hmm. Again, I mean, the Clippers, I thought, did a pretty good job on him.
Right.
5
made threes in the second half, though.
Amazing, man. And I just thought as the moment got bigger, you could just feel it coming.
This is why you're scared. This is why people are scared of Steph. If you listen to every former player talk about this game coming up today, and you hear them talk about what the predictions are going to be, all they said was, I'm just not going to bet against Steph. Why? Because when the moment gets bigger, like you say, Mully, he just continues to show up and show up big. And I don't want to lose the context of the fact that Steph is just coming back from an injury where he was gone since January.
Remember, he went to the locker room late in the first quarter.
This is huge because you got to understand that it takes an incredible amount of work to get back into shape. But now you're playing, they're asking you to get back into postseason shape in just 3 games, maybe 2 games, because he missed a couple, right? I mean, I can't say enough about what he did tonight, what he's been able to do so far to give this team confidence.
And when Steph was out, sitting those 27 games, certain guys had huge performances. Guy was amazing for a month, and Pods was great. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Tonight, they maintained that impact. Guy with 20, Porzingis with 20. Horford with 14 off the bench. And Steph had a quiet first half, but those guys were playing. So when Steph got going, these guys had their games going already too. So when they were left open, they were there to have a good possession.
Warriors just stayed in the fight tonight. Stayed in the fight. Down 10, rally. Down 13, rally. They eventually win this game down in LA to snap a 9-game losing streak against the Clippers down in Southern California. Let's hear from the head coach of the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr, presented by BMW.
Steve, how would you describe Steph and Draymond down the stretch there tonight?
I've been watching them for 12 years. There's a reason we have 4 championships, and it's the competitiveness, the heart, the will, and just it's been such a tough year. But to just show, what they're made of, what we're made of, and there were, a lot of guys who came through. So obviously the spotlight is on them because of everything they've accomplished. But I just told them it was, with all the wins we've ever had here, with a lot of them with a lot more at stake, this is right up there. just because, of where we are and our age and our, the decline of our performance this year, the injuries. It was just a display of, just a beautiful display of competitive will, and this is why Steph came back. So everybody out there who thought Steph should have taken the rest of the year off, this is what he does. This is who he is. If he can compete, he's going to compete, and it was just incredible to watch.
You talked pregame about kind of the unspoken understanding, y'all are near the end. How much, down the stretch are you kind of thinking about that, and when you're celebrating, thinking about at least enjoying a night like this one more time? Just
all I'm thinking about is how proud I am of the guys to really show what they're made of, and the fact that we're still alive. We've got to go to Phoenix now and try to get another one, and get ourselves in the playoffs. But I more than anything, I'm just so proud of the guy. We must have been down double figures 5, 6 separate times, and we came back every single time we made a run. It was such an incredible display of guts and competitiveness and connection. And obviously Steph and Dre kind of took over down the stretch. Dre's defense, he's the best defender I've ever seen in my life. It's just insane what he does out there. The job he did on Kawhi. I thought our coaches did a really good job with the game plan to blitz Kawhi and try to put a crowd around him. And so the preparation was good, and the players really followed through. And for one night, we're us. We're champions again, And I know that may sound crazy to everybody out there. It's a play-in game. I don't care. It's just absolutely beautiful to watch.
Steve, you kind of answered some of it, but 21 points in 40 minutes for Kawhi with Draymond draped over him all night long. What were you seeing possession by possession from Draymond out there?
Well, Draymond, I think, is probably as well suited to guard Kawhi as any player in the league because of his strength and his brains and his ability to defend without fouling. And then I thought our guys did a really good job of helping and blitzing and just trying to make things crowded for him. Kawhi's been one of the best players in the league now for the last couple of months. He's just been incredible. So we knew we had to make things difficult for him. And I thought we did as good a job as we could have. But Draymond obviously is the guy who allows for that game plan to work just because he can fight through every screen. He's so strong, he's so quick, gets back in front, and then just absolutely brilliant mind for defensive angles. And he seems to be in place before the other 9 guys on the floor over and over again.
We can kind of go down the list here of guys who just came up with big performances, but I'll start with Al Horford. What did he do in that fourth quarter to kind of unlock himself and hit those 3 straight 3-pointers?
I thought what Al did tonight is one of the most difficult things to do in sports is when you're having a rough night through 3 quarters, to just flip it and all of a sudden start draining shots and making defensive plays. And he completely turned his own performance around, and it was kind of a perfect 1-2 punch with Kristaps and Al tonight. Kristaps kept us in the game with his scoring, his passing, blocked a couple shots. And then when it was Al's turn to come in, the way he just flipped the switch from what was a cold night to knocking down all those shots, the big 3 to give us the lead. Al was
10, 13, 11. But they never gave up. And it's little baskets like that that let your teammates know we're gonna be in this till the end.
Well, let's talk about Kristaps Porzingis here, Fezzi, because he had made only 1 3-point shot in his last 15 attempts from the perimeter. Well, tonight he was 3 of 6. And you see why he could be so valuable for this franchise. The 2-man game with Steph and Curry. A nice, efficient 8 of 12 from the floor, 20 points, the 5 assists, made some nice passes tonight, got Steph going on 1 layup, the 2 blocked shots. And you know what, Fezzi? He played 27 minutes and 37 seconds.
I thought KP was masterful tonight, Bonte. Started off the game a little slow. They put a small guy on Kristaps Porzingis. It took him a second to get in the flow, but once he did, and he was aggressive, it really, Steve Kerr just talked about the Warriors being down double digits several times. And some of those double digits was Kristaps really just being the mastermind behind it. He was the guy who was the facilitator. Steve Kerr played a stretch with Kristaps and DeAnthony Melton and Brandon Podziemski. Steph and Draymond went on the bench. And they made a run. This with Gary Payton, it was a defensive run. They went zone. Kristaps was at the back end.
Second quarter,
rebounding.
Right?
I mean, that right there shows you what the Warriors can be. They've been able to play some games, some parts of the game with Steph, play some with Kristaps, play them together, play Kristaps with Al Horford. I mean, Steve Kerr now has pieces that he can use. I thought Kristaps was really influential. He showed you the influence he can have in the game with the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, great night for Porzingis. And I think, Bonta, you mentioned his assists. I think some of those assists were as big as his baskets. A few of them were late shot clock. He hit Steph one time on a backdoor cut. I think he hit Guy Santos, late shot clock. One time he passed up a three and hit one of his teammates for a layup. This guy can do everything. He's really, really skilled. Very encouraging. I think this is probably the most minutes he played all season.
Close to it. He played
minutes.
29 minutes against the Wizards.
So, again, the 8-man rotation, as Festus said, it's interesting. Of course, Steph and Draymond has that built-in chemistry. Al Horford and Porzingis. So it makes sense to scale that back. It's hard to have so many guys play and maintain some continuity, rhythm, and flow.
Kristaps Porzingis, what a night for him for the Golden State Warriors. In the start, we question some of the starting lineup. Do you go? Welcome back to Toyota Warriors Post-Game Live. Let's go straight to L.A. to the Intuit Dome and talk to Brandon Podziemski,
yes,
Mr.
Sir.
All 82, playing in all 82 regular season games. Played 40 big boy minutes tonight, 30 seconds, 17.7 rebounds, 2 assists and pods. Tonight was fun. You guys never quit. Down 11, down 13. You guys stayed in the fight there. Discuss this win, especially late down the stretch where you guys made all the winning plays.
Yeah, I think we were down 10, maybe 4 or 5 times at various points of the game, and we just got a resilient group. Like I said before we started this, just got a bunch of guys that's been there and has been in really high-level games and have won championships and know what it's like to come back. And so, yeah, we just every time out we're like, it's okay. They made their run and they're a good team. They're at home, so they're going to make runs. And every time we responded and fought back. And obviously, the big shots Al made down the stretch, and obviously Steph doing what he does, and then Draymond finishing it up on defensive end. Just a team effort.
Yeah, Poz, talk to me about your vets, man. Like Al, you just said, made big plays. Draymond defensively was incredible. And obviously Steph Curry, 27 in the second half. Well, what is it that you guys get from the older guys, especially now that they're healthy and back on the floor?
Yeah, I think just steadiness. And like I said, everyone's been there before. And so I think this is Steph and Jerry's 4th playing game now, and or 5th maybe. And Al just came off winning a championship with KP, and so they know what pressure and big moments are like, and so I think they thrive in those things.
Pods, talk about Steph Curry's second half. At halftime, somewhat of a quiet half. You guys kept him in the game, but then he just turns it on. He finishes with 35 points. So I know we see it so many times, and it's almost not amazing, but talk about what you witness playing beside and watching Steph Curry on a daily basis prepare for games and then get on the biggest stage and execute like he did tonight.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it makes sense, the results he gets back from all the stuff he puts into it. Really great person, teammate, father, husband, you name it, he does at his top level. And so just see what he does on a daily basis and the rewards he's reaping from it, everything just kind of makes sense.
Pods, I want to talk about yourself for a second. Since the All-Star break, you're averaging 17, 6, and 4. You're shooting over 46% from the floor, 37 from the three-point line. How much valuable experience did you gain knowing that Jimmy was out, knowing that Stephen Curry was out, and that you would have to carry more on your shoulders as one of the youngest players in this league? Can you discuss what's been going on with you since the All-Star break? Because what we see on the TV every single night when you suit up, you're playing some excellent basketball right now, Pods.
Yeah, I think it's an invaluable experience for me. Obviously if Steph and Jimmy don't go down, it looks a little bit different. I'm not going to have as many opportunities as I did, and so that's what I really mean when I say it's a blessing in disguise when they went down, just because everybody gets a different opportunity to have the spotlight on them. And I think I learned a lot. I learned what having the number one guy on defense on me feels like, what it looks like to be successful at that level. Obviously, we didn't come away with a lot of wins, but it's an invaluable experience, and I think it shows. And tonight, especially with the way I'm playing and how Guy's been playing, if Jimmy doesn't go down, he really doesn't get that opportunity. So, it's been invaluable. But like I said, I just stay true to my faith and my work ethic, and let the results fall where they may.
Let's talk about your work ethic. You had a great season this year, one of 18 players in the league to play in all 82 games. Talk about your preparation physically to not only be prepared to play the game, but also to execute every single night and be there for your teammates.
Yeah, I think, I love hoops a lot. I think a lot more than people realize or think. So anytime that, God gives me the ability to go out there and compete, that's one of my favorite things in this world to do. And so, fortunately, I went through some injuries, or unfortunately I went through some injuries, last year, and I really learned a lot about my body, what makes it work, what makes it not work, and so I just kind of stuck to a routine after the surgeries this summer, and it helped me get through 82, and so just super blessed to be able to do that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, no doubt. 40 minutes, 30 seconds. You got another one Friday night, so we don't want to hold you for too long. Get some rest, man. Have a safe flight to the Valley of the Sun against the Phoenix, and we'll see you Friday night against the Suns.
Yes, sir. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Anytime. Brendan Podziemski, man, what a season for him as they get ready for the Phoenix Suns. Again, play some big boy minutes. 12 points in the first quarter to kind of stabilize the game with the Dubs as Steph and Kerr was trying to figure things out. Finished with 17. You see the rebounding there, Fezzi. 40 minutes and 30 seconds played. He's played some excellent basketball, really since the All-Star break.
I love the question you asked, Bonte, and the question you asked, Mullin. Pods has played all 82 games this season. That's something to be celebrated. But even during that time where the Warriors were really injured, he had to carry a lot and shoulder a lot of scoring, playmaking. He had the best defenders on him every night. And he got better through the year. The Warriors weren't winning, but he was getting better. You can say the same thing about Guy Santos. I thought that this was a game where you got to see that confidence show up. You're playing alongside Steph now. Steph is going to get the best defender. So it's your job to keep attacking. I thought Bob Paz did a great job making shots, 17 points, but making plays. You see it in different ways now. It's not just making threes. It's getting down to the teeth of the defense when the defense is hugged up on Steph, making plays for other guys. Sometimes when you get to the rim, you leave a chance for offensive rebounders and second chance plays. So I'm seeing variety from Pods right now, things that you didn't see earlier in his career. Now you can see all that work that he put in. He's getting better.
Yeah, I was impressed with his overall game, and I thought he came out really aggressive, which was important. With Steph not cooking in the first half, it was important for those guys to be aggressive. Sometimes we get caught up, obviously, because it is a make-or-miss league. Tonight, the Warriors almost shot half their shots from three, and that's like a sticking point sometimes. Right. Now, when they make them, we don't mention it. But we always watch how they're created, if they're open rhythm shots. And if you do that consistently, you're going to make your fair share and you're going to get to your percentages. So tonight, I thought Pods missed a few wide open threes, but they were good shots in the rhythm of the game. And those shots came back in the fourth quarter for Al Horford because they kicked the ball ahead. He was stepping into his shots in rhythm. But I just thought it kind of funny that all of a sudden half their shots are from threes. When you make them, it's all good. Right. But I do think they were created with ball movement. Steph's off ball movement was creating openings for his teammates. But Pods, put together a great game. Could have easily had 20, missed a few free throws. But I just thought, again, I got to mention that the role players, we talked about this when Steph comes back, maintain your aggressiveness, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
Guy Santos as well. We'll just talk to him in just a second here, but it's time for our Toyota drive ahead as the Warriors will fly to Phoenix. They take on the Suns. And it's been a while since the Golden State Warriors have seen Phoenix. Oh, he's not confirmed. Okay. All right. Never mind then. We'll wait on that. But we will have to wait for the Phoenix Suns on Friday night.
Not too long.
The Valley. Not too long, Mullin. Get some rest, as he fell. No going out. It's not a back-to-back, but a quick turnaround against Phoenix. And we know what awaits the Warriors. It's Devin Booker. It's Jalen Green, who they saw last year in the first-round series. And, of course, it's Dylan the villain. Dylan Brooks.
What happened the last time?
Oh, this is what happened. The Warriors erased a 14-point deficit in the fourth to beat the Phoenix Suns.
And there was a few guys hurt that game. The Warriors bench came out. Pat Spencer was huge. Guy Santos was huge. Go ahead bucket. Was that where Al Horford fell and passed it to Guy?
On his butt. No, that was a game at Chase Center.
Oh,
that was a game at Chase Center.
Okay. Plays in the playbook.
It's in the playbook. Well, Al Horford saving the ball right there. You see that? Moses Moody,
shout out to
get
my
well.
guy, Moses Moody, get well soon. I mean, these are games and these are moments in the Warriors' mind that have given them confidence to feel like they can fight back from these rough moments and from those deficits in the season.
It was these type wins where the role players stepped up. But tonight, they maintained that. There was a few games. Steph came back in Houston. He was really good. Next two games, everyone seemed to be kind of on eggshells. Not playing their normal basketball. But tonight, whether it be Guy, Draymond's defense, Porzingis, Al Horford, Pods, they got contributions for everybody. And to me, as I'm watching the game, as that ball's moving, the Clippers had to guard 5 guys on every possession. They weren't able to zone up. There was no possessions off. And that's a huge difference.
You know, watching Phoenix last night against Portland, the Blazers were able to generate any shot that they wanted. And I look at the way the Warriors played against this tough Clippers defense. It feels like they're going to be able to generate the same type of looks tonight on Friday against Phoenix, against a team that could become discombobulated at times. We know Dylan Brooks, his temperament. We know about Jalen Green. He could be hot or cold. Devin Booker, you could take him out the game at times. It's a very gettable game for the Dubs to advance to the first round.
And
of the
they
playoffs.
have a big man in the middle that can get offensive rebounds and things of that nature. I mean, the Phoenix Suns, they're a good team, and they can play. And Devin Booker is a guy who can get his own shot whenever he wants. I thought that if he took the shot that last game, he could have been the guy to win the game. So this is a team that's very capable, and the Warriors coming off of a big win tonight, that confidence and everything. I want to see them start off the next game being the aggressors to start the game. I want to see the Warriors being the ones to make shots. It took them a while to get into the flow of this game. I thought the bench did a great job bringing the Warriors back in the game, but it's going to be really important as they move forward to start getting that chemistry earlier in the game and start getting, being the aggressors.
I was going to just say, keep your composure. These two teams have gone back and forth. Not only Dylan, but Gillespie, Draymond Green. He got ejected out of a basketball game. You must maintain your composure in this one Friday night.
I think they can learn from that Sacramento game. If something like that does happen, where it was with Devin Carter and Draymond, say that's Dylan Brooks, let it go. Dissolve it immediately, get back to playing. But, Bonte, you talk about generating shots. I get back to the way Steph Curry's moving off the basketball. Now, you look at the they got tonight Kawhi Leonard, Derek Jones Jr., Chris Dunn, Mathurin, all those wing defenders. I don't see those wing defenders in Phoenix like that. Mm-mm. So I think we're going to be working for a little while. I think that's going to be.
As we go back down to L.A., Guy, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Guy, have a night, man. How fun was that down there in L.A.? Rallying from a 13-point deficit in the fourth quarter. All the winning plays, Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Draymond Green's defense on Kawhi Leonard. But how about your night playing in this type of environment, man? Good job for you, huh?
Man, that was amazing. That was amazing. I couldn't believe it that I was a part of that, So when I was on the court and just seeing Steph hitting that crazy threes and Draymond get stops in guarding Kawhi, that was amazing, man. I couldn't believe I was there, but I couldn't believe it.
Okay, so Guy, when you think about this game, right? It took you all a second to get settled into the game. When did you feel like you guys had, because you had a couple times where you came back from deficits. When did you feel like you guys were kind of getting into the flow again as the game went on?
So we knew the game gonna be like that, the game has ups and downs. They have a couple runs on us. They were open, like you guys said, they were up 13 on us in the last quarter. But we knew that's the energy that we got to bring to come back in the game. So we were just there going back and bring energy. We still got Steph, so it's easy for him to just stop in the logo and shoot a 3-point and make a shot. So it's kind of easy for us to go back in the game when you got a guy like him. So it was amazing, man. That defense stopped from Draymond. The couple great 3-pointers they all got. I think he got 12 points in the last quarter. That was big time threes for us. So man, that was just great. It was a great game.
Guy, tremendous game for yourself. The whole team played so well. But with Steph Curry, 8 points at halftime, do you guys, Steph just came back a few games ago. Did you role players talk about maintaining your aggressiveness as Steph works his way back? Because you get 20, Porzingis gets 20, Pod's at 17, and you mentioned Al hit 4 threes in that fourth quarter. But I was talking when Steph was coming back, it was really important for you and your teammates to remain aggressive as Steph works his way back. Did you guys talk about that?
I don't think we really talked about that, but we can feel that, we knew we were playing aggressive when Steph and Jimmy was not playing with us, but now Steph is back, so we know that's going to be even easier for us to play because everybody's going to be doubling on him everywhere. Especially that there's a couple of plays that I have wide open layups because they were so worried about Steph. I was just dribbling and wide open layup because there was 2 guys guarding Steph with, even he was not with the ball, So that's the great thing to have Steph on the team because he know that he gonna have 2 guys on him and he gonna just go attack, you good, you gotta. He gave us that confidence. That's why we are so comfortable playing even when he's back because he give that the confidence for us, and on the court you just can feel it,
Well, Guy, you're playing some of the best basketball of your career, if not the best basketball of your career. And I asked Poz this: how invaluable was that experience of playing without Steph, without Jimmy, to help get your game right? I know you guys weren't winning a lot of games, but you were getting valuable game reps and getting a lot of minutes here. How much did that help you and prepare you for that moment tonight?
So I think when you play games like that without your main players, that puts you in a position that you got to provide more than you usually do, and that was what happened with me, with BP, with Mel, with all, and all the experience just show ups today, because when you play without these guys, you got to find something, they're not going to be there to find a better look for you all the time. So when you don't have them, you just got to go and drive and stop in 2 feet and trying to find passes or trying to score. And when they back, like I said, make it easier for us. So the experience that we have playing without them is now showing up on the court because it's easier to play with them, So it's kind of tricky, but it's easier when you have Steph and all these guys around.
Well, it's been a joy to watch you develop here, especially this season, Guy. 9 of 13 from the floor, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. And we get to do it again on Friday night against Phoenix, man. Get some quick rest, and we'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Rest, brother.
You need a champion.
What's the argument, Bonte?
Why will the Warriors win Friday night?
The Warriors they're only going to be better in the next game than they were today. I thought 20 turnovers, missing free throws. There's a lot of things the Warriors can clean up. And they haven't had a lot of practice time together. But I'm highly encouraged by the combination of Steph, Kristaps Porzingis, Al Horford. Mullin, it's my turn right now. You get your turn. Don't you worry.
I'm just trying to, what do you call in practice? I'm trying to figure.
No, I'm saying the time that they get to play together. They haven't had time to play together.
Well, you might have to chill. Your last argument, man. You had us all discombobulated about the Clippers, man.
Okay,
so today we're going against.
I heard Steve Kerr talk about Kawhi Leonard.
19 threes. I thought they found some continuity. They scored 73 points second half, the Warriors did. So I think that there's something to build off of in the next game. The role players played phenomenal. Kristaps Porzingis looked good. I think that chemistry will continue to build with Steph.
I don't like the Phoenix. I like the Phoenix Suns' lack of wing defenders. I thought the Clippers had way better wing defenders. They got Jordan Goodwin, Dylan Brooks, Jalen Green, Devin Booker, and Ryan Dunn. I think Steph's going to run them ragged. Their bench is not very strong. Against Portland, only scored 17 points off the bench. And they were outshot 17 makes to 9 makes.
Wow.
By the Portland Trail Blazers. So I think I think tonight's game is going to catapult them into the playoffs. I think they've gained some rhythm. I love the fact that Steve went to 8-man rotation. That may extend a little bit. And the other thing, too, is we'll see how guys recover, because guys did put in some big minutes. Somewhat of a quick turnaround. There will not be practice tomorrow. Tomorrow will be rest and recovery.
This game was the practice.
We'll see you Friday night.
Friday night.
Yes. Get your rest.
Get your rest.
Get your rest, Bonte.
Turn your phone
off. Man, listen, I'm worn out, man. I'm not going to lie. I was going crazy yelling at my X Factor, Al Horford.
Is this the kind of game that you had in mind when you signed with the Warriors?
I don't know about the playing, but the type of intensity in a meaningful game like this, yes. And then me being able to help our group and be there in those moments. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
Can you describe what Draymond did defensively down the stretch against Kawhi, and just how difficult it is?
Well, I mean, we want to highlight the end, which is great, but like just all game, kind of what he did. It was an unbelievable job. Being that disciplined and a guy that's been playing so well all year like Kawhi. Kawhi has been dominant. And Draymond taking on that challenge and getting stop after stop and that steal there at the end near half court. I mean, it takes a lot because as a defender, you don't want to get out of position, and but that just goes to the grit of Draymond and how smart he is and how he's thinking just ahead of it. And he was able to make that play, and just very impressed with him and just the continued efforts because he didn't waver. He just continued to get a stop after stop, and it just became draining for them, I feel like.
Al, this is your first time having Steph on your side in a game like this. What was that like?
Man, that was that was great. It's you don't like to be on those other sides when he does what he does, but just I mean, just as clutch as a player as you can find, really embraces this moment. I know he puts that fear on opposing teams. That's just the reality. And when he has the ball, he's gonna, and he gets those looks, it's gonna make you pay. So it's pretty special, and I catch myself just watching him when I'm out there, playing, just because it still impresses me at the level that he's able to do it.
When you guys are playing from behind almost the entire game, what does it do for your confidence knowing that you have that?
Well, it gives us, life, but I think we just continue to stay within the game plan. But a lot of games in this season, when you look at some of our games, when he was out, I feel like we were right in games, and we just didn't have that closer. We didn't have that guy that can kind of, take us over the top, and that's what he does. So he did it tonight.
All right, we've talked about some of the strong offensive performances. We have to talk about the defense at the end of that game, namely Draymond, the 2 steals.
2 key steals, yeah.
That sealed the game,
yeah.
Probably. What did you think about the intensity Draymond brought to this game? Because he wanted that Kawhi matchup. He wants to be recognized as one of the top defenders, and he backed it up tonight.
I think going into this game, you had to know that the Draymond-Kawhi matchup would be pivotal one way or the other. And because Kawhi is so crucial, that play right there.
That one, right
I mean, if you're Kawhi, you're like, what happened here?
4 steals in the game for Draymond, yeah.
And so that pretty much put the game on ice.
Was the game.
Yes. And so if you're Draymond, look at Draymond and Jerry Stackhouse, like,
That's
that's
my
what
guy.
we need to see. And so, people often say, man, the Warriors should have got rid of Draymond this year, that year, or some other year, And then he does stuff like this. It reminds you that he was an essential component of those championship teams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his defense, big plays you don't even see with the naked eye, just little subtle things that he does. They don't have those rings without him. And so in this game, could they have won without him? I don't think so. Kawhi might have gone for 40. Who knows? But Draymond was in his face, denying him the ball, and then in the crunch time there, he picked his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
Yeah, and instead, only 2 points for Kawhi in that 4th quarter. Kawhi was at the podium. He said they had a great game plan. Draymond, Hall of Fame defender. It was hard to even get shots up. So
He's right.
Kawhi on Draymond right there. Our Dalton Johnson caught up with Draymond after the game.